Hey, what's going on YouTube? It's Frosty. So the Multimach has returned, and if you have been a Crucible player for the past 2 years, anytime an SMG is introduced, we kind of get a heart attack, you know, from things like Terba, Aikilos, Shayuras, Immortal. SMGs have been quite dominant, and the question is Multimach going to cause some pain to the players inside of the Crucible? So here's my god roll real quick, by the way, if you guys want to copy what I'm using. Zero range on this has been really good inside of PvP. Like even Amit and the Prosecutor, Summoner, they don't stand a chance against... Yeah, enough cap. So yeah, whatever you do, make sure you avoid Iron Gaze, as that just completely destroys your range. The actual god roll perk combo that I was looking for is Dynamic Sway with Iron Reach. So Dynamic Sway has always been S tier in an SMG, and Iron Reach, giving it that bonus range, allows this SMG to compete at some distances that normally you wouldn't expect it to, and it's a lightweight frame. We're gonna have a bunch more information detailing everything about this weapon and whether or not it's gonna be a problem. But first up, let me show you some gameplay with Iron Reach. It's a pretty kind of monstrous SMG, and then we're gonna take a look at things like Kinetic Tremors, Under Over, and some other stuff as we continue the video. All right, I wanna see the reach on this, and I wanna fight some ARs. Big nade. I barely had enough bullets to kill this guy. So I'm gonna sit here and let them like get close to my SMG. Rift up, watch out for the shoddy push. Gonna ego challenge this guy. Ooh, melted. I could challenge this guy, but the other one's watching him. I got that kill too. We're still protecting this zone fine. There's two people there. Oh, let's go. You got the cleanup. And beautiful. Us from getting C. Yes, the triple down, all thanks to the GL. I wonder if I can push this guy. I want to see what it's like just kind of like sending on someone. Well, they actually just prepare for the next zone, but with SMG, it's going to be kind of hard to stop me pushing here. I'm hitting some 20s from that distance. It is a little bit tough to control the recoil though, but I don't have the best barrel to get like more stability on this with Iron Reach. Okay, I got the trade. I got a close spawn. Oh dude, you don't stand a chance fighting this. I wonder if it gives people PTSD. He's trying to hit him. I hit 15 headshots from that far. Anytime I match a Multimach, which is like not often, I get kind of scared because I feel like I'm hearing an Immortal on rapid fire mode. If that makes sense. Like it's shooting like way faster. Because it does share the same sound and the same model of the weapon. Cross map? Sweet. Oh shit, hello, I didn't see you. Can I get the 3-piece? No, I choked. I need to get closer. Oh, let's see what it's like. Oh shit. I wanted to see what it was like fighting somebody shooting back at like range. It's hard for sure. Can I hit that? Beautiful. See if I can find the other one. Oh, he just ran into my Nova. Not a smart play, bro. I'm just kind of like trying to see like how far this can hit and if it's going to be like a problem. But I swear, like, oh my god. Oh, if I just line up the aim and they like walk into it and they're in range where the bullets actually register and my stability isn't like impossible to control, it's kind of Jover for them, dude. Yeah. Do I think this is better than Aikilos or an Ending Tempest? Just based on my first like match with it, like impressions on it? Probably not. But the lightweight bonus could change that. Because you could just aggro push people, have faster like ADS, and it'd be disgusting to try to fight you because you're just a harder target to hit while you're moving. Okay, so you saw the first match, Dynamic Sway Iron Reach, pretty solid. After messing around with several rolls, and I mean several rolls, I turned in about 50 Iron Banner engrams to get all the combinations, get as close to a god roll as possible so I can give you some pretty accurate information. Now, mind you, I am keeping into consideration mouse and keyboard players and controller players. I know there's a big discussion about how much stability you need, and the reality is sometimes when you're a top bracket player, you know, stability becomes less important for you regardless if you're on a controller or MNK, but this is going to kind of keep in mind for everyone pretty much. I'm personally not going to go zero stability because I think that's just kind of terrible. So let's take a look. After experimenting with the rolls, I do think Dynamic Sway Iron Reach is going to be a really solid roll. If you want just straight up accuracy, Tap the Trigger is going to be goated here too. Now, we're not going to talk about Kinetic Tremors under over, that's after this segment, but I want accurate rounds, small bore for the stability and the range. Now for the masterwork, you can actually go stability and range, whichever you want. Field tested there is also going to help you out a little bit. Now, here on the left side, we kind of have an idea of the range that this SMG is going to be hitting at. After this segment, you're going to see a comparison to Unending Tempest in regards to meters. And my conclusion is that with this way that I spec'd it out, the SMG is going to be competing at the ranges that pretty much it needs to, right? It's going to do much better than it really should, because without Iron Reach, well, I mean, look at that range. It's not comparable. Next, I want to take a look at two perks that are going to spark some discussion. There's Under Over, which is supposed to be better against Overshields. And then next, there's also Kinetic Tremors, which actually works with this SMG if you're spamming a bunch of body shots. So let's assume I have bad aim and I'm just hitting nothing but body shots. There it is. So you kind of get an idea of how much damage you have to do with the SMG to proc that perk. So it's not completely useless. It's known as a PvE perk. Let's try it again from a distance if I'm hitting like maybe some headshots and whatnot. That seems kind of cool in my opinion. How viable is it in Crucible? Well, that's going to be up to you to decide. Would I use it personally? No, because there's some other perks that I think are far more valuable. Cool. All right, so next up, let's see what it is using an SMG against Overshield Titan. Normally, you know, I'm hitting my damage. I believe the Titan Overshield is 50 HP. They can sit behind the barricade and still continue to regain that HP. Now let's see if I can melt that shield instantly with Under Over. All right, so with Under Over, takes one shot. I think you still have Overshield even after one shot. It takes like 2 shots to basically break that. Also, people sometimes say like it's pretty underrated because you could just instantly get rid of the Titan shield. But it looks like to me, even without Under Over, it's pretty much 2 shots as well to just get rid of the shield without the perk activated. Personally, I think this is kind of overrated in my opinion. I can see what people are trying to like say that it's good and why it can have some value, but I still very much would prefer to have something like Dynamic Sway on an SMG any day, as this is an S tier perk. All right, so next I want to just kind of have a picture of what it's like when it compares to something like Unending Tempest, which are like hybrid SMG ARs. They just have so much range. I'm going to do one with like 70 here, not completely a god roll, but once I get that range drop off, I would like to see what it's like compared to like my Multimach. All right, so around this point right here, it's when I start to experience range drop off on a really good Unending Tempest in my opinion. And then I have like not really a 5 out of 5 Multimach, not rocking the full bore or range masterwork. I got Corkscrew. Let's see. Normally it's what, like 21 per crits where I do full damage. And right now I'm doing 19. I'm gonna take a step forward. 20 immediately. Take another step forward. 20 still. Another step. And then pretty much like one big step. And I'm already doing full damage in comparison to what I consider like AR SMGs. So not too bad. For a Multimach 64 range Iron Reach, not max range, it does pretty well to snipe players. All right, so again, we're trying out the god roll, the real supreme S tier roll, 0 range Multimach. I'm expecting to hit zeros on players no matter how close they are. First test, I've been clickbaited. How's that doing any damage, man? I got 0 range. What is it like if people have a little bit of distance? What? How am I hitting damage still? Yo, this thing's cracked, man. 9 damage body shots. The 9s are so goofy. Oh my god, I got the kill! I'm telling you, it feels like it has no stickiness at all. For the people watching the YouTube video, I want you to tell me in the comments if I should keep the 0 range so that it could potentially come up in random. My Twitch chat has been saying, keep it, keep it, keep it. But I don't know, man. I think they're kind of toxic. I'll let the YouTube comments decide. If I ever get this in random, I would be so triggered trying to make any plays with this whatsoever. And me getting kills right now, just consider myself lucky. Not something I really experience when I'm doing those random cards, though. This hunter's kind of dancing around me a little bit. I don't have any range, bro. So you're gonna cook me as expected. I wonder if the people are thinking in their heads, man, this guy IFrostBolt is kind of ass. I'm all gunning him so well right now. He's using a meta SMG. And then later they find out, wait, this guy had 0 range on his Multimach? What in the world? I mean, if I just barrel stuff him, it doesn't matter. What does this prove is that SMGs are still overtuned, and even at 0 range, Bungie needs to actually maybe do something about, I don't know. Anyways, let's try a different role. Moving target, tap the trigger. This is one of like interesting roles. Unfortunately, I don't have enough engrams to get the Aikilo's God Roll perk combo, which is typically dynamic sway with tap the trigger. That roll combo on Aikilo's makes it an actual laser beam. But, of course, you know the deal when it comes to grinding those Iron Banner engrams. It is a pain. So difficult to get any drops in general. So this is the best that I got. Tap the trigger, for those that don't remember, has been buffed to give you like better, kind of like an accuracy cone at you know, when you pull the trigger. Really good stability at the start. And on top of that, I believe it has insane anti-flinch when you pull the trigger as well. In dynamic sway, you know, it's there once you're firing the weapon for quite a bit, getting more accuracy, allowing you to contain that stability and that recoil under control. So yeah, that's why tap the trigger is usually very sought out for in an SMG. And in Aikilo's sake, I mean, the gun, if you've used it, it feels like a laser monster. But anyways, we're gonna wrap this up. I think we've seen everything we needed to see. Keep your eyes open for dynamic sway, tap the trigger. Moving target's not too bad, but it's definitely not the one that I'm seeking for. And please, please, for the love of goodness, if you see the perk that gives you 0 range on the SMG, Iron Gaze, delete it. Avoid it at all costs. And yeah, we're just gonna call it there. GG's. All right, so thank you for making it to the end of the video. I have some conclusive thoughts. What do I think? Is it worth grinding for? To be honest, Iron Banner has been a pain to grind with the lack of reward drops such as engrams or the weapons just dropping in general, and even focusing the gun, you're at the mercy of RNG with the perks. And considering how many top tier SMGs we have in the game, from Aikilo's Unending Tempest with Shax, the Immortal from Trials of Osiris, Shayura's from Trials, you can focus all those engrams and you have really high luck of just getting a good SMG anywhere in the game nowadays, it feels like. So to me, I feel like unless you really want a Multimach, it's almost not worth it simply for that RNG factor. Now, to its benefit, I have to say, getting all that range on the SMG is pretty nasty, and by far one of the best things on it, something not to sleep on, is the lightweight frame, which makes this SMG crack. Now keep in mind, this gives you plus 20 mobility, and why this is good is because not only does the weapon have good handling, you can swap weapons faster, have a snappery aim, but you have really good strafe speed left and right when you're getting in a duel. And what that does is it makes it harder for the other player to keep track of you as you're moving left and right, thus allowing you to win a gunfight much better. Just some food for thought. That's pretty much all I got for you. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.